Okay, this is going to be a quickie little tutorial right here on how to create a 3D photo from a Photoshop file and also with the added little secret sauce of using the puppet tool to give this wrestler a little bit of arch right here. Now, before I go any further with this, I want to point out as I was looking at this, I saw a couple of problems. This is a student project, and I noticed that in the cutout of the wrestler right here, that we've got a little piece of his back that doesn't belong right there. And also notice the ghost of a foot back here in the background. And if we were to play this back and forth, you would actually see that this foot is really kind of transparent. We can see the background through the foot right there. So some problems with both the selection of the foreground object and also the healing of the background. So those things you should look for in your own work. Just make sure nothing's getting you there. Okay, let's get to work. So this comp is the animated one. It's called Wrestler. The one we need is called Wrestler 2. Okay, let's just go ahead and see what's in each of these layers. Okay, and we can solo them. They're with using the solo switch right down here. We can see the Wrestler, and so let's look at the next one. That is the other wrestler. Ah, looky there. We got a little piece of his elbow. We got stuff going on up here. So stuff in this selection needs to be healed in this layer. And also the background here we can see. So I thought the ghost of the foot was right in here, but it's not. It's in the midground layer. Okay, so let's go ahead and start playing with this a little bit. First thing I want you to do is to tick the 3D switch for all three of these layers. So if you just click the little 3D box there for all the layers, that's going to make them all 3D. I want you to select the background layer, the BG layer, press P for position, P for position. Now you'll notice the three sets of numbers right here. We've got horizontal, left and right, vertical, up and down, and this one is depth, towards the camera or away from the camera. So what we want to do is push this image away from the camera. So I'm going to go ahead and start pushing it, making the number bigger actually, which seems counterintuitive. It seems like it would be a smaller number, but no, it's going further from the camera. So we're adding distance here. Let's go now to scale, S for scale, and let's scale it up until it fills the screen again, until it just fills the screen. All right, let's twirl up the background layer and we'll go to the wrestler layer right now. And notice that the wrestler layer is chosen, but the anchor point is in the very middle of the screen. So we're going to need to move that. Let's go get the pan behind tool at the top, and we're going to grab that guy and move it over to the middle of the wrestler somewhere. Doesn't really matter where, something like that. Next thing we're going to do is go get the puppet pin tool. That's this little guy up here that looks like a push pin at the top. Go ahead and select that. And what I want you to do here is to put 3 points, 3 puppet pin points on our wrestler dude. And then we're going to put one on his head. We're going to put one on his torso. And we're going to put one down here on his foot. And these are animating points for us. You'll notice now in the wrestler layer, if I were to press the U key, you can see here that the puppet effect has been added. I'll press the U key and we'll see that we actually have, move that out of the way, 3 keyframes right here. I'm going to go ahead and select the puppet again in our drop down right here. And again, we'll see those 3 points, okay? We're going to jump to the end of the timeline down here. Make sure it's at the end. And I'm just going to pull the head forward a little bit and maybe the legs forward just a little. And it's important not to go too far with this because it'll start, everything will start to fall apart in there. Although that doesn't look too bad, I guess. Basically, what we're trying to mimic is his body coming out of an arch. So let's preview that. And there we see Yeah, it's maybe, a little much, but now we're going to change the position of the wrestler. I'm just going to twirl that up now. Didn't even need to do that actually. I'm going to type P for position, hold Shift, and type R for rotation. Okay, so what I want you to do is go to the very beginning of the timeline, and we're going to set a keyframe for position and set a keyframe for Z rotation. Okay, now we'll jump to the end of the timeline, and we're going to bring this guy. Oh, need to go get the selection tool. Don't need the puppet pin tool anymore. Going to bring that over towards the guy. Make sure and don't let that toe down here get in the way of the rope, or we'll start to see the transparency problem of the foot there. And also we're going to give him a little forward Z rotation, so counterclockwise, kind of in that direction right there. And if we go back and click on position one more time, we'll see, I'm going to go ahead and roll in a little bit here. We'll see that this motion path right here has some little Bezier handles. We're just going to give this guy a little bit of a curve. And so what's going to happen here, maybe not up, but maybe out a little bit. So what's going to happen is as he falls, he's got a little arc to his descent. So kind of a natural progression there as he little arc there. Next thing we're going to do now is add a camera. Layer, new, camera. Make it a 50 millimeter camera. That's the preset right there. And set it to a one node camera. A one node camera has pedestal, truck, and dolly. What a one node camera does not have is pan and tilt. That would be in a two node camera. Don't want that right now. So I'm going to click OK. And we're going to go to the beginning of the timeline. And let's go ahead and twirl up the wrestler layer there. And on the camera layer, P for position. And we're going to set a keyframe. And we'll go to the end. And we're going to push the camera in. So in we go there. And maybe we'll just make slight adjustments to kind of center the action up a little bit there. It looks pretty good. And we'll go ahead and preview this, see how we look. Oh yeah, there we go. Looks pretty cool. All right, that's really it for this tutorial. It's pretty simple. Go ahead and have some fun with this using your own image. So this is purely for practice. Don't turn this guy in. Let me know if you have any questions.